Most systems at Rockford Public Schools are back to normal operations after the district was the target of a ransomware attack this week. The attack took down phone and email services yesterday. News 8's Demetrius Sanders spoke with a Michigan State University professor on ways to prevent and recover from ransomware.
Ransomware has become very common, and it's not expected to go away anytime soon, making it important that people know what to do before and after an attack. Rockford Public Schools was one of the latest victims of a ransomware attack. Ransomware is a form of malicious software that creates serious headaches for victims.
So basically, it locks you out from the files and the materials that you would need. Depending on how quickly it spreads, it can affect databases.
So how do you unlock those files? Tom Holt, a professor with MSU School of Criminal Justice, says it usually involves negotiating payments with hackers.
The operators themselves are making millions of dollars just based on what we can observe in the public about the payments that they receive. So it's a high value kind of attack.
And with targets usually including things like schools and hospitals, Holt says is also high risk.
You're talking about affecting targets where, like in the case of a hospital, you could essentially generate the loss of life.
Ransomware has mostly become an organizational problem, this making it important to secure infrastructure as much as possible.
The trade-off, though, is that you have to be able to use these resources. So you don't want to have people constantly changing passwords or using two-factor authentication that's hard to use. So you have to find the balance between security and usability.
He also says individuals within organizations can help, as ransomware often gets through using text messages and emails.
It's an email that appears to be legitimate, and maybe it's got a bad link out to a site where you're downloading the malware. And so you just need to be cognizant of what the email is, who it's coming from, what the request is like.
And because it's hard to go after hackers, being cautious is the best way forward.
Most of them live in Russia, and there's no extradition relationship with Russia. So we can't prosecute our way out of this problem. And that means we're left with having to deal with this as individuals.
Now, Holt says it's also important to have your data backed up in case of an attack. In the WoodTV.com digital studio, Demetrius Sanders, News 8.